I need to be able to like share this. Is this share button? Ah, I got it. Okay. Okay, I got it. Now we're gonna send some invites. Bada beam, bada boom. Let me know if you are here and watching. Then I know. And also if my sound is bad, let me know. Going live for YuGiOh and general chat. At everyone. Boom. Okay. Now we're gonna get a bunch of dislikes because I dared to say anything. Okay, now people are rolling in. At last, we have 9 whole people, 4 whole likes. What's up, Petty Party? How are you doing? Ah, Nathan, VM, Alessandro. Now we're getting somewhere. This is good. Is my mic loud enough? Let me know. Maximum Gold hype? Yes, I am very, very hyped for Maximum Gold. It's honestly my second most hype set this year. There's so many like things that I sold before that I can now rebuy for playing, like not collecting, investing, anything like that, just for playing. Like access code, I had sold my access code. Verte Anaconda, I had sold. Now I can rebuy them. I had sold my Eldritch stuff. Now I can rebuy that. So I am very, very excited for Maximum Gold. Also being able to like buy certain decors, like prank kits. Damn, what else is in there? I forgot. But like a bunch of amazing stuff in Maximum Gold. But my favorite set is Burst of Destiny because of Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer. That card is insane. Sub bro, I have a barbecue burger. That's cool. A rare mood. Smash that like button. Yes. Maxwell, Maxime, best way to store cards and avoid warping bending. It depends what you mean by store. Like a binder is great, obviously. That's probably going to be best against warping and bending, assuming the binder itself isn't warping, like in any way. Obviously, double sleeving so that air and water can't reach the card. And beyond that, good deck boxes, I guess. I also really like these Pelican cases. I have a link in the description where I store like slabs, like PSA slabs to keep humidity out and so forth. But that's more niche, obviously, like binders for just general collection, just binders, double sleeving the good stuff. Yeah, I mean, Yu-Gi-Oh cards do warp really, really easy. Like, it's actually incredible how easily they warp. Like, if you've played Vanguard or Buddy Fight or anything like that, all the Bushiroad games, their card stock is so much thicker that they don't warp as easily. But Yu-Gi-Oh is they come out of the stuff like Pringles. Golden Neos. What is your current main deck if you have one? Oh, my current main deck is PK. I have it here actually. Where's my? This is my guy. Oh, this card is so damn cool. Yeah, I love PK. It's basically because right now it reminds me a lot of the Teledot era that I played competitively in, where you would have like dark stuff, Destiny Heroes, Emergency Teleport, and right now you're playing that in PK as well. Like you're playing the Destiny Hero package, you're playing all darks, you're bullshitting in the grave, you're playing Teleport to get the psychics out. Like it's, I don't know, it's some nostalgia right there. Best premium binder, I've heard Gemtech and Card Guardian are good. I prefer Dragon Shield above all else. Like, I don't know. I would have to count, but I think I have at least 25 binders, all Dragon Shield. The codexes, those are incredible. Betty Party underwater. Why are you underwater? I haven't touched my Yu-Gi-Oh collection in a few months. What are some expense-free things to do to reinvigorate the hobby of Yu-Gi-Oh collecting and playing? I mean, the YCS announcement, like, so my playing of Yu-Gi-Oh is very off and on. Like, sure, I'll have a GOAT game, but in general, I don't really play very actively with the modern cards. But now, because they announced YCS Utrecht, I'm like, damn, I better gotta get good. So I went to locals because of that. I already like bought my hotel for YCS Utrecht, crazy stuff like that. So like, I don't know if real life events coming back don't excite you, then I'm not really sure, because that has really like upped my Yu-Gi-Oh excitement again. Are you using Card Market? If yes, do you have some tips to find cards there? I do use Card Market. I also use TCG Player, eBay. There's no particular tip or trick. I find that usually when it comes to Card Market, most people that are aware of stuff have already like scooped up all the good stuff. But that's the case for almost anything. Same bro, it must be a max thing. I've been playing PK for about a year now. That's cool. I have had the core for a little while, but it's really only like a few days now since I've put it back together again to play for real with like staples and everything. Um, yeah, I don't know. Is anyone else going to YCS Utrecht? That's gonna be crazy. How do you find cards on Instagram? You have to know people. Like Instagram is not this marketplace in the same way as TCG Player and eBay and Card Market where everyone is equal, right? Like if I'm new to the hobby but I research a bit, I'm just as good as another buyer on eBay, Card Market, and TCG Player. Maybe less so eBay because you need a little bit of feedback, like a zero feedback Andy can't buy high-end cards because people are afraid of getting scammed. But like on all those platforms, everyone's pretty equal. On Instagram, however, you need to like know people, right? And having followers and like a nice collection to show off, all of that really helps you because you get to know people, and so you might be looking for a certain card. Let's say a good example here, a Blue-Eyes Toon Dragon. Pretend this is a 10, it's a 7. Let's say you're looking for a PSA 10 Blue-Eyes Toon Dragon. How are you going to find it on Instagram? It's not like they're properly tagged. And let's say you see one for sale, Mr. YuGiOh Toast Maker 2769, he's selling a Blue-Eyes Toon for 5,000. Then what? If you had friends on Instagram and connections, you could say, hey, I'm looking for this. And they go, oh, actually, you don't need to buy from Toast. Toast Maker 2069,000. I don't even know, just random names. You don't need to buy from this person. I actually have a friend, Fernando, who has it for sale for 2,700. And then so you go follow that person and hit them up. If you don't have that connection, you don't even get there. So yeah, Instagram, it's really more who you know than what you know compared to other platforms. Obviously, knowing stuff is still like super important because you can buy garbage regardless everywhere. But on those other platforms, the knowledge of other people is worth less than on Instagram. Hi, so I'm a huge fan anyway. I just inherited 30K from my grand. What card should I invest in? I assume this is a joke. If not, I'm sorry for your loss. I don't think you should spend it on cards. This sounds like a vintage values kind of question. What's up, Zigov? But yeah, that sounds like a vintage values kind of question. So, important rule for every stream ever: I don't tell people what to buy. I fundamentally disagree with it. It sounds too much like crypto bros going, buy Solana, go Solana to the moon, go buy that. That's gonna go up. I don't want that kind of shit. I'm not interested in like shilling very specific stuff. Beyond that, if that 30K is all you have to your name and you have no other like real cash flows that make it so you can afford to lose money on a collectible, you shouldn't be putting it on a collectible. I was part of a Facebook group that connected me with all the Yu-Gi-Oh players in my area. It was a great way to sell locally, but my posts would get hijacked and it got a little annoying. Sorry to hear that. Yeah, local groups are just, if you're part of the group, you win. If you're not, too bad. So how about that PWCC? Oh yeah, okay. Let's talk about PWCC. So if anyone hasn't followed, PWCC no longer hosts their big Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon and so forth auctions on eBay because of that dispute. So all of their auctions went to their own site. Now the problem is no one's on that site. I mean, obviously there's card fans on that site, but compared to eBay, the amount of eyes, the amount of attention, the amount of exposure on that platform is much, much, much lower. You have to make yet another account. You have to blah, 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 all different things. And so what happened was you had this new big auction block in both Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! And they got dumpstered. Holy hell. Every card except for the one I was watching went for not every card, but like let's say 80% of cards went for lows. Where you got either 30% off the previous all-time high, you got 40% off some cards. I mean, some cards are just dumpster fire and got dumpster. That's fine, but like even the very best cards, had their price decrease because obviously you had way less people. Like you didn't have the fucking everyone having their eBay account ready to bid. You had to go through this other thing. Like many people didn't even know they were happening. So yeah, that was if you sold through PWCC, I'm sorry for you. The one card I was watching actually was the Mystical Elf, and she went for just her regular, like all time, like her previous all time high, around the peak of the market. That price. So I was like, too bad. Anything else I wasn't really watching. I probably should have because some cards went for so cheap, it's insane. Like literally, you had some nines and tens going for below raw price or like below grading cost, even on some of the like more weird cards. Let's say there was an ulti of some GX set, but it wasn't like a major kind of ulti, but still a pretty cool card, and it sold for like $30. I'm like, what? Like some people got really good deals. I probably should have watched it, but now I assume more people are going to be watching because they know less people are watching. Yeah, you always got to go like against the grain that way. What should I invest in? I don't know. Index funds. And if there's cards you like, you should probably buy them if you can afford them. Graham Stefan is talking about Floki. Should I buy? I don't think so. Hello, Mr. Gypsy Fish. Gen Z collector, any advice on submitting shipping to PSA? Do you think desiccants are necessary inside the package? Desiccants shouldn't be necessary. I don't know many people putting desiccants in their packages. I mean, maybe you're living like in a rainforest type of scenario where on the way there you definitely need something like that, perhaps. But from what I know, it's not necessary. Advice on submitting shipping, it's not hard. Like I've always used a middleman before, but I recently did one without middleman, and both went smooth. Had really no issues. All the info that I have is on this channel already, which is also why I'm not like making a crazy amount of videos anymore. Now it's just a here and there a live stream, maybe some update here and there, maybe not PWCC, a PSA return, stuff like that. I have a mail day coming up, by the way, but some stuff is stuck at customs. So yeah, I've been buying some stuff again. It'll be cool to show off, but I also kind of want to like keep it a secret because there's like more I want to buy, but I will see. Buy my PSA graded Bandai Exodia set. Yes. No thanks. I'm sure there's people who like it, but like I have a couple Bandai cards that I was sent. They're cool. I respect their history, but it's not something I'm actively collecting. Blue-Eyes to the Moon, of course. Emerald Samurai, yo, what's up? Isn't it stupid to spend hundreds, if not thousands, on new cards while 20 years old gems are available? I mean, if those are cards you want to play with, I don't see why not. If those are cards you really like and want to have, I don't see why not. I personally wouldn't spend thousands on any new cards, but it is what it is. But if you want to play, you need to buy them, right? Like this PK deck right here. I don't know how much it is because I don't have the best modern staples. They're still coming in the mail, so maybe that deck is worth $300. Okay, still actually no, probably less, maybe 200. If you want to play the game, you have to spend that money. Are newer boxes going to retain their current price or go up? That's too vague of a question. Some of them will probably hold, some of them will go down, and some of them will go up. You can never make like blanket statements about this stuff. But if you assume that newer boxes are going to have a trajectory that is similar to what the originals have done with age, I think you're mistaken. Do you have a waifu collection? No. I have a couple of waifu cards, but it's not particularly like a collection of just waifus. I just collect what I find cool. Like I have this €5 Cyber End right here. I'm trying to get 1 through 10. I have this. Oh, this is a pretty cool card. Alligator Sword, WP11. The only 10 in the world, as far as I'm aware. That's a gem. But not a specific waifu collection. In the long term, vintage cards only go up and way more than stock/index funds. In terms of risk-adjusted returns, I believe so. But no, in terms of risk-adjusted returns, probably not. But I do think that the amount of risk you take with them needs to be justified. As in, you are buying something that is very risky, and a lot of shit can go wrong, and you're paying a lot to sell it, and it's not very liquid, and it depends on the franchise surviving. It depends on all of these things, right? So I do think that they will beat a general index fund because there's no other point in holding them like as a speculation. But again, that's a speculation. It could go horribly wrong. But if you buy cards hoping for a 7% return every year, I don't know what you're doing because you're going to lose 15 or 20% once you go and sell it, which is not the case with your index fund. So yeah, risk adjusted maybe not, but before risk adjusting, I hope so. Unless you just want to collect them, of course. Let's see. What do you think about Edison format? I have not played it, so I do not know. What do you think about collecting Funko Pops? I'd say they are the next Beanie Babies. I know that's like relatively controversial, but they're just not particularly rare. They're doing a lot of the same things, and they are never really the real merchandise, right? Like if you buy a Slifer the Sky Dragon Funko Pop, which is a real cool thing, right? You're still not owning really a Yu-Gi-Oh product. Of course, it's licensed. I get it, but it still looks nothing like Slifer. And so I don't know. It's not something I would bet on financially, but if you just want to collect it because you enjoy it, go ahead, right? Like it's still a fine pop culture collectible. It's just, I don't know. Financially speaking, I feel it's very risky. It also doesn't have like the history to go along with it. Like with a Yu-Gi-Oh card, the early ones, you at least know, hey, this thing has been going for like 19 years or so. Whereas here you're like, what? How old are they now? I don't know. It's not for me. Hello, I am big into MTG and I'm flirting with the idea to expand to Yu-Gi-Oh or Pokemon. It's just for diversification reasons in the asset class. The problem is my passion is only MTG. Speculative collectibles don't require diversification, no matter what Rudy is trying to say. You can diversify into speculative collectibles just because it's fun and you really like the thing, and it might have like insane returns sometimes, but it's not like these markets are totally uncorrelated from each other. Like when MTG and Pokemon is mooning at the same time, Yu-Gi-Oh is probably mooning as well. And so the point of a diversifying asset class is that it isn't correlated to the rest of your holdings. This one clearly is. So it makes no sense, especially because you don't like it. Like buy it because you like it. And if it then goes up, cool, that's a bonus. I have that sweepstakes Mahat that Konami did a giveaway for. When do you think I should sell? I'm not going to tell people when to buy and sell and, oh, do this and now do that. If you made a sick profit already, I would just sell it, but maybe I'm wrong. Yu-Gi-Oh! Crashing, it's over. Yeah, it's over. It's done. Sell all your cards. Thoughts on MRD cards taking a huge hit in value? They are just the ones who have seen the most pop, like explosion. We have all been talking about all of these cards stuck at PSA and what it would do to the market. I've been talking about this since the beginning of the channel as a real risk. Be aware of it. Watch out. Now we saw certain sets explode and others didn't. LOB barely grew. SDK barely grew. Did SDK even grow? I don't think it grew at all. DDS grew a little, as far as I'm aware. Some GX ultis have like started growing because the pop was like first 3 because they weren't properly numbered. You have like ultras, you have ultis that are still in the ultras and so forth. But MRD, man, like some of these pops doubled. Some of them saw 50% increases. Obviously, it's gonna like tank the hardest. So for that reason, it also saw the harshest price declines. That's just the reality. So Time Wizard went from its all-time high of what, 3.4 now to 2.5, something like that. Too bad. I own two of them. I don't really care. If you have been watching my channel and started de-risking yourself and made sure that you didn't get like FOMO'd into pure euphoria, made sure that it's not too much of your spending, you didn't, YOLO money that you can't afford to lose, and you bought stuff that you like, you're probably still doing fine. If you FOMO'd into stuff listening to some random influencers screaming that everything would go up forever, well, sorry. I don't really know what to say. Like, it sucks, but I tried. I really tried. What do you think of the wait, I lost. Okay, what do you think of Metazoo? It's not for me. I hope it works out for them. It's fine to have a larger card ecosystem. That's fun, but it just looks kind of to me. So it's not something that I dabble in. What did you think of the King's Court Pharaoh's rare God cards? I think they'll print every single rarity for God cards, and then they'll make some more and some more and some more, because the best-selling cards are God cards, Dark Magician Girl, Blue-Eyes. If they need to sell something, they put one of those in, and they know it will work out. So good on them, but it's not something I would like bet on, because 20 years from now, I think there will be 8 more different fancy rarity God cards. And the only ones that will end up mattering are either ones that are so fucking destroyed in quality control that it's impossible to get good ones, like the Ghost Ra, or the originals. But the problem is that the originals, their pop is like huge. Like, they are all, it's the DDS problem, kind of, but worse. So that's the one thing holding them down, but the demand is so high that I don't even know, right? But yeah, I don't know. I think every modern card always has lots of hype around release, and everyone is suddenly a big fan of them, like the 10,000 Dragon, like the King's Court God cards, and now it's the Platinum Blue-Eyes, and next there will be something else. But it's very hard to forget how quickly those things phase out, and there's only a few winners then. Uh, Different fight. Hi, Solemn YuGiOh, big fan. Do you know when Solemn Vanguard is gonna upload next? Yeah, I've been really busy. Solemn Tones is taking all of my attention right now. Black Friday is coming up. Product release, something, can't say too much, but it's been hell. It's been a stressful hell. And so, pure focus there. I'll make more content sometime in the future. I'm currently just waiting for a few people to finish stuff up. That's why I'm live streaming. And then back on the grind set, right? Sigma grind set, isn't that a thing? Let's see. Holy shit. How do you insure your cards when importing them to Europe from US? Huh? This question sounds like tax fraud. So I'm not gonna get into that. That's not, just no. I these days buy as much as I can from within Europe. You have a GoTech? Yes, I do. But it's just good fun. It's not some crazy. It's still like the Goat Control Chaos type of deck, so it's still like a good deck. But I'm not no Goat God. Are you ever iffy buying expensive cards across the pond? Yeah, I mean, I just said so. I try to buy from within Europe as much as possible. I got back into Yu-Gi-Oh! Around the same time I started watching your channel about a year and a half ago. You've saved me money and helped me to avoid pitfalls with your advice and demeanor, which makes me really respect my investments and treat Yu-Gi-Oh! Collecting like investing smart. Thank you. Nothing can go wrong. Just go all in on Dark Magician Girl. That's, yeah, sure. Is the market crashing at the moment? Yeah. I mean, I think it has crashed more so. I don't think it's currently crashing as much. Like, wait, I'm gonna try to draw. So, wait, so this moves like this? No, okay, so it went like this crazy, and then down, and now it's like going sideways again, from what I'm seeing. Also, not every card, obviously. Some of the like highest of the high end I haven't seen dropping as much. Like LOB stuff has mostly been insulated, except for some supers that not many people care about. But for example, I'm still hunting a PSA 10 Mystical Elf, and no one's selling. And when someone's selling, it's not like the cleanest 10, and I really want a clean 10. And when they are like solid 10s going up, they go for the same things as like peak hype. So at least the stuff that I'm looking to buy hasn't crashed. And the stuff that I'm not interested in, yes, has crashed. Maybe it's super godlike intuition, or maybe it's just luck. I don't know. The only thing that I've taken a loss on so far is MRD. And actually, no, that went down to what I... No, I don't think so. Mostly cards that I'm not gonna sell anyway have I've maybe like lost a little on, but I'm so plus on everything else. Like I said, I de-risked around the peak that I don't even care. I'm holding everything that I wanted to hold anyway. Opinion on Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal, just starting to collect it. I'm not really into it much at all. As far as like new era Yu-Gi-Oh, it's kind of whatever. For me, it's dual monsters and GX, and then anything else might be like a singular card. Like for example, I really like Tour Guide, so sure, I'll collect the Tour Guide from a specific era, and everything else I'm like, fuck it. Opinion. Oh, how many Cokes do you drink per day? Sweet uncut sheet. I drink about 3 or 4, which is way too much. That's like my only unhealthy habit I still have that I need to like beat. But it's just so good, and it's keeping me from other unhealthy shit. Like if you, and again, this is like pure copium. Coca-Cola is 136 calories per can. If I eat a bag of M&Ms, that's about 1,000. So like I can drink 8 Cokes, or I can eat 1 bag of M&Ms. So if my Coke keeps me off the M&Ms, that's pretty good. But again, that's copium. I should definitely try to like get out of that. Do you have any recommendations for who to follow on Instagram for buying vintage cards? There's a lot of people. There's Vintage YuGiOh. He has an insane collection, has also been selling quite some stuff. There's Ruxin34, who like sells the stuff that he doesn't want to keep after grading. There's Gezi TCG. There's many. I'm totally blanking now because there's so many. How would you compare the value of LOB and LOBE cards? LOBE cards are not in the same category as all. They are the European counterpart, and Europe doesn't have as many like high-end collectors, so it's a bigger risk. On the other hand, they are more rare. There are far fewer LOBE cards, so it needs less demand uptick than America needs to move the price. But I don't know. I like this sheet. That's LOBE. But I'm not like, I'm one of few people that's into LOBE. What do you think of Pop 1 Master Collection cards? I don't think Master Collection cards are Pop 1. Like, do you mean the shiny ones from the binder? Because like there's a billion out there. I'm not sure how they're Pop 1. Or do you mean like the /EN type of cards that like no one wanted to send in and not many are out there? Like it really depends on what you're talking about. Hey Solemn, our favorite financial advisor. No more stonks. Watching some Yu-Gi-Oh is reinvigorating my love for Yu-Gi-Oh and collecting. That's cool. What deck did you run at the locals you went to? PK. Was fun. Zero Eptery, what's up? Have you seen the Ghost from the Past 2? It's now twice easier to pull a ghost. Yes, I saw that. I'm not sure what to think about it. The problem with Ghosts from the Past wasn't the ghost pull rates. The problem with Ghosts from the Past was that everything else in it sucked. So like you can say, oh, it's so hard to pull a ghost. Like if there was just other stuff that you wanted, reprints of good stuff beyond fucking evenly matched, that would have still been a great set. It's just that it was shit ghost pull rates and shit cards beyond that. So if Ghosts from the Past 2 had kept the same ghost rare pulls, but just added other stuff you actually wanted, it would be a fine set. Instead, they upped the ghost pull rares, and I'm hoping that means that they're also pulling in like actual good pulls and not just letting it depend on the stupid ghosts. But we'll see. Different fight. Thank you for the answer. Where can I find out more about the next Solemn Tones release? At solemntones.com, but it doesn't have any info yet. Flesh and Blood is the next Yu-Gi-Oh? I don't think so. Flesh and Blood right now is very hype. It's very cool. I think, like, someone asked me about Metazoo earlier. I think Metazoo is trying to do what Flesh and Blood is doing with far, far less budget. And so we'll see if it works out. They have Aoki, like, pushing it really hard. I saw TCG Player pushing it. Good for them. But the thing is, Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon were phenomenons that went beyond anything. You know, grandma heard about Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! On the news because none of the kids could do anything but play Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon. That is the kind of iconic phenomenon type shit you need to have 20 years of interest and nostalgia and so forth. Fab is a super well marketed game pushed hard by Rudy. Had that big like prizing thing that pulled people in for their big event and so forth. Well done. But next Yu-Gi-Oh, next Pokemon, not at all. Like not even fucking close. Unless this grassroots kind of push, which isn't that grassroots because there's a lot of money involved, but unless that push leads into that like iconic phenomena type deal, it's not the next Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Pokemon. Hi, this is Solemn Yu-Gi-Oh! And you're watching Disney Channel? Yes. Most of the high-end cards and boxes besides LOB have had at least 30% drops. Yep, that's true. Though I do have to say it depends on which high-end cards. Like if you're watching MRL, for example, I'm looking still for a Blue-Eyes Toon PSA 10, especially now that my guy came back as 7 and I still don't know why. I'll have to check. I'm still not finding any for much lower than their previous all-time high. So if you're seeing that, hit me up. But so it depends. But yeah, MRD definitely. MRD has dropped more than 30% on some cards. LOB has mostly held. Prize cards obviously probably held best because, well, there's no sales, right? Because there's not enough out there. Are you ever going to do a collection video showing your higher end cards? Nope, probably not. What would you say a fair price of a first ed MRD Summon Skull PSA 10 is? You could just check eBay for sold listings. If I go by what I know about other cards in MRDs, like Slope Down has been, I'd say it has dropped from 4K to maybe 3, maybe 2.9, something like that. Do you think Vintage Values has some mental illness? I'm not going to comment on people's mental things. I think Vintage Values is a very funny troll who knows what he's doing when it comes to that. Like the way I've seen him like on House of Champs live streams, the way he keeps on like pushing down on the things he's saying while other people are trying to correct him and then he like doubles down anyway. It's way too well acted for me to think that he isn't just a very smart troll. And I respect it. I think it's funny as shit. I just hope that, it doesn't turn into dangerous things where people actually go crazy and lose a lot of money. But overall, it's just super entertaining to me. So yeah. Sigma Male Grind said, yes, Diet Soda, it's OP. I just don't think it tastes that good. Do you like cards in the new Eldorado set? I'm thinking of getting one pack. Are you? I love the cards in the new Eldorado set. I already spoke about it earlier. Essentially, a bunch of cards that I really wanted to just play the game are in it, so I'm hyped for that. Access Code, Anaconda, Eldritch, Prank Kits, and so forth. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is dead. Metazoo to the moon. Yeah, totally. The new Cyber Darks is where it's at. I don't think they're that strong, sadly. I really wanted to play them, but alas. Do you think Yu-Gi-Oh! Will get a Celebrations box like Pokemon did? I don't know. I don't really care. Doesn't really matter. I remember there was a discussion about whether Wavy or Glossy came out first. Honestly, which do you think is the first print? It's not really much of a discussion. Like, all of the evidence points to the fact that either Glossy came first or they came at the same time. But there is zero evidence Wavy was ever first. Zero. Gezi did really interesting research on this. You can go to his channel. It's super obvious. Either Glossy came first or they were the same time. And to me, the evidence tilts heavily in Glossy first. Now, that doesn't change the fact that Wavy overall seems to be more rare. But it didn't come first, at least. Shout out your Guatemalan fans. I didn't know I had any, so cool. Hello. LOB Unlimited Blue-Eyes has dropped like $90 in the last 8 months. I'm pretty sure it has dropped more, unless you mean like the raw modern one. I'd hope so. Not that I like want people to lose money, but it's just it was way overvalued because of the hype, despite not being rare. Do you think Yu-Gi-Oh will be a long-term game, not an investment? Duh. It has already been going for 18 years, and it's still going strong. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Yu-Gi-Oh is part of the big three. And unless there's a seismic shift that completely turns over the card game market, it will be the big three. And everything else is like, maybe. There's always some new game like sticking its neck out and people going, "Oh, this is it. This is the Yu-Gi-Oh killer. This is a Pokemon killer. This is going to be changing everything. Oh, Force of Will. Oh, this or that." And every single time they all fucking die. After that hype cycle, something messes up and the nostalgia isn't strong enough to pull people through. Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon have millions upon millions of fans. And so even when there's like bad moments, they can still recover from that. Weaker, tinier franchises just don't have that. And so that's a big risk. And we saw this play out beautifully with Force of Will, maybe with Argent Saga, but Argent Saga wasn't as like marketed and pushed as much. And so now when people are like going crazy about Flesh and Blood, Metazoo, Digimon, Dragon Ball Super is a good example of a card game that's mostly going down as well. Even though like 2-3 years, probably like 4 years ago even, people were saying this is going to be it. Dragon Ball is so big. So just watch out with that. Card Fight has been going for 10 years. As far as growth goes, it's not doing too hot in my opinion. Like V was a disaster and people are now like slowly coming back from that disaster. But, we'll see. At least 10 years is better than almost any other card games can say. Beyond the big three, no card game has actually lasted that long. So yeah, Digimon seems to be doing really well right now, but it's hard to say. Maybe it'll be the second Force of Will and just die out again. I don't know. I'm not going to make bets. What's your feelings of the secret rare Pharaoh God's long time hold? I wouldn't say so. Should I buy modern Yu-Gi-Oh or modern Pokemon for Stonk's returns? I think you should buy neither. Do new cert PSA 10 now carry a premium over the old certs? I don't know if they carry a premium, but the 5X's in general seem to be graded more thoroughly than the 2s and so forth. But again, there's weaker ones in everything. There's people saying that in the 6s there's more issues than in the 5s and the 4s. That might be true, but again, it's very like evidence based on seeing 400 cards and not seeing all of them. So I don't know. But I personally would bet on a new cert over a 2 cert when it comes to being sure that it's a clean 10. But I don't really see the premium translated yet. Let's see. Thoughts on early OCG stuff like Tokyo Dome, Valuable Book? I don't know enough about it, honestly. What's like if I knew, I would say it, but I don't feel like that. What's your response on SM Pratt's recent video on how all auction houses need to be more like eBay and their extended bidding format is just a boomer thing? I saw that video. I don't know. I think eBay's system reels in more FOMO, maybe, which is also why it probably gets higher prices. But It's not, in my opinion, based on this special bidding thing. The problem, in my opinion, is that there aren't as many eyes and it's not as accessible. Everyone and their mom is on eBay. My grandma is probably on eBay. And her grandchildren, 2-year-old Susie, also has an eBay account. That's why it's beating everything in prices. When you are in a niche market, you need all the attention you can get. And PWCC just doesn't have that much attention, so there's less people bidding per item. It's that simple. Even though, again, sure, you're mostly looking at like the more enfranchised people and this and that on PWCC. That's still the amount of eyeballs is what matters. We're in an attention economy, and eBay wins. Do you think PSA 10 LOB first set dropped? Oh, topped. Sorry, topped. It depends on what price you're talking about, right? Like the 85, I never took seriously. To me, LOB Blue peak hype was a 42K card, which is still high, but it's not the 80. So could 80 be the top? I don't know. It's hard to say because it's like being seen as this hallmark peak Yu-Gi-Oh card, and I don't agree with it. But we'll see. Thoughts on Unlim MFC DMG having a lower PSA 10 pop than the first ed? I don't know. I would dare to say that it's because less people send it in for grading because less people care, but I don't actually know what the like print runs of that were. Regardless, I would still feel less great about owning Unlim purely from a risk standpoint. Try Final Fantasy TCG. Yeah. I know this sounds unrealistic because Yu-Gi-Oh! And Vanguard are competing and gathering new players, but what if Vanguard did a collab with Yu-Gi-Oh? It's never going to happen. The Monster Strike collab isn't even that relevant. I don't know a single person in the West who cares about it. When we getting a dueling lounge, you talked about opening. I never said I would open a dueling lounge. I said I would want to go to one. Oh, I would never open a physical local game store. I've already tried owning an online one, and that experience sucked. Like, we were profitable, everything sold out, all great, and even despite that, your margins still suck ass. So I'm not opening a dueling lounge. I want to go to one. That's it. Do you think LOB PSA 10 commons could be worth something since most people didn't care about their condition or straight up threw them out? Commons are common. They are already worth something. People at peak paid $350 for fucking commons. But I would not bet on buying them right now that they crashed to 250 and assuming that they will go to 2,500. LOB commons aren't MTG alpha commons. You should not even think about comparing them. And even a lot of alpha commons in MTG aren't that high. So I would watch out. But yeah, I wouldn't speculate on commons. I just really like some of the commons. So I will personally be buying some. If someone has a PSA 10 first edition LOB laser cannon armor, like the insect thing, I want it. Basic insect, I want it. But it's not because of some stonks reason. Your prediction on where will you be ranked in the upcoming YCS tournament? So I don't know. For the simple reason that I suck. Like in Vanguard, I'm a try hard and I do the proper like testing that's required to top major events type of deal. Like in Vanguard, I actually try hard and know the game really, really well. In Yu-Gi-Oh, that's not the case. In Yu-Gi-Oh, I am a casual scrub. My first locals in like 10 years or something just now was last Friday. I got 3-2, which is pretty solid, I want to say. But still, it's not even comparable. So I don't know where to put myself. I will try to try hard, but learning the game to a point where I could do well, like no, first learning the game to a point where I know the rules enough and then practice to a point where I could do well. I don't know if it's possible in 2 months. I'll try, but I don't think so. Any advice for starting a Yu-Gi-Oh YouTube channel and sounding/feeling confident on camera? There's no advice. You just need to make videos. And then some people are going to say, you suck, you're ugly, you stink, you're dumb, everything you say is wrong. You'll keep on hearing all this negative bullshit. And then you still have to push through that. And then you'll make more videos. And you're going to make 50 shit garbage videos before making a really good one. And that's fine. We need to go through that. But yeah, you don't get like confidence through some trick. I don't think I'm the peak of confidence either. I can just tell you what's I think working for me. Would you buy a PSA 9 first LOB Dark Magician for 5K? No, I would not. Because in this current market, you can get it for less. I think it went down to PSA 9 LOB first Dark Magician is like 2.5-ish right now. Something like that. But still, I'm not into giving advice on you should go buy this right now. Like, it's not my style. Following the trend of price increase on vintage boxes and GX sets, what's your take on 5D's boxes and their prices? This is very dangerous. First of all, 5D's boxes have already like skyrocketed in price as well. So don't assume that you're early. Secondly, assuming that you can map price growth from one thing and just go, oh, it grew like this, so the next in line is this, and it'll grow the same way, is just no way in fucking hell. I think 5Ds is infinitely less loved than Dual Monsters and GX. And I like some 5D stuff. Like, I played hard into that format, Stardust, Black Rose, like, that was my jam. But regardless, it is not the same as Dual Monsters and GX. And even GX is, like, not the same as Dual Monsters. So I wouldn't make assumptions about 5Ds working out the same way. I haven't watched SM Pratt for a year since he started. Did I miss much? Let's be honest, other than my Patreon, couldn't resist. I don't know. I think some of the things he says is far too based on trying to keep the market confident and not necessarily how do I say, like, the true thoughts of someone who is operating in these markets at the highest level. But what do I know? Do you think OG LOB Unlim will be looked at the same way as Shadowless in Pokemon? No, I don't think so. I think Shadowless is too clearly different from Unlim, so it's very easy to say, like, look, this is Shadowless. Whereas if you have to teach someone the difference between modern Unlim and old Unlim, I think you're already playing a losing game. Now, will some of these cards, like, grow? Maybe, but it's not like a gamble that I'm gonna take. That's my answer. If you can choose just one card that you'll keep forever in your collection, which one would it be? The Shonen Jump Crush card. Yep. Got any Yu-Gi-Oh product that isn't cards that you've been following and maybe picking up? This? or is this cards as well? Overall, I'm not into Yu-Gi-Oh items that aren't cards. I'm a fan of cards. I own a couple starter decks sealed, but beyond that, this is like the most non-card thing I have. Yeah. I'm not into like there's like this trophy of the Millennium Puzzle and stuff. That's cool, but it's not my style. I bought a PSA 9 first at Injection Fairy Lily, and it seems like the card had a little dab of marker on the bottom left where the date is at. Shouldn't it have graded lower? It literally shouldn't have been graded. If someone wrote with a marker, that's considered altered. Like, if you were to take a Magic the Gathering card and use like black marker to color stuff in, they would just say fuck off for not even grading this. So if it's actually marker, I would be, I don't know, I would even hit up PSA to try and get like the difference back. Because what are your thoughts on the Brave token cards? They seem strong. I like them, but we'll see how strong. I'm pretty sure every deck will play them. EN Dual Monsters vs Unlim OG Dual Monsters. Probably EN, depending on the set. There's like certain sets that are less rare in EN, but I don't know which one. You should ask Gezzy. SM Pratt is the Rudy of Pokemon. Everything he says is to be taken with a grain of salt. I don't know. I don't know them as people and I don't know their intentions. I'm not interested in commenting on that. I just think that I don't know. I would take anyone's words with a grain of salt, even mine. I obviously have a vested interest in Yu-Gi-Oh doing good. I'm just trying very very hard to uh be somewhat objective. But we'll see. Thoughts on Weiss Schwarz? Honestly, it blows my mind that that's still doing this well. Like as a playable game, almost no one plays it, but it still seems to do well. So good for them. I also have friends who are like really fucking good at it competitively. So I hope for them that it keeps on doing well. I'm also a Bushiroad fanboy, so I hope for them it keeps doing well, but it's not for me for sure. Do you know anything about the print runs for Ultimate Rare Sacred Beasts? Very low pop and even raw, they're rarely for sale. I mean, the print runs for any Ultra Ulti from that time, except for TLM, is quite low. Like if you're looking for a, do we have here? Oh, the Cyber End, for example, you'd never find these either. It's very comparable to the Sacred Beast. So I don't know specific numbers. I just know that finding Ultra Ultis for that from those in like near mint to plus mint condition, good luck. You a fan of My Hero Academia? Yes, I know about the TCG, but everyone and their mom makes a TCG these days. Again, same issue as the Force of Will and so forth. Like if you're not big three, you're automatically on thin ice. You may see loads of hype, and that's cool, and I hope it does well. But we've seen how that plays out a few times already. Just be aware of that possibility. What is the value on that Crush card? It's hard to say. I've got an offer for 17,000. So I don't know, make of that what you will. I'm not selling at that. So is it more? That's the problem with these types of price cards. There's so few of them that within a given grade, there might be one or two or three. That's the max. I think there's 4 PSA 10 Crush cards. Yeah, 4, I think. And everything else is like 1 or 2 and so forth. So good luck. Name your price. It's really hard. I don't play Weiss. I just like collecting waifu signs. Cool. Collect what you collect. Enjoy. What are your thoughts on the Dragon Ball Super TCG? I've been into it for the last 3 years and the card art is amazing. Enjoy. It's not for me. I think just like almost any non-big 3 card game, you're always in the risk of it dying. um, but if you're having fun, enjoy. Will the SDK flippening happen? Oh my god, this is such a crypto thing. I don't know. I don't care. I would have to grade a second 10 of it for it to matter for me. I don't know. You were one of the few I encountered with similar doubts, so I respect that. I was like taking a dark red pill. Oh, I see. Yu-Gi-Oh or bust? I agree. No, I really like Vanguard. Obviously Yu-Gi-Oh has like that strong nostalgia for me, but for a playable card game, I really like Vanguard as well. Does cracking PSA 9 cards actually work to get a PSA 10 if you send it in enough? It depends on if it's like a deserved 9 or not. Like I'm sure someone will say, "Oh, just keep on sending it and it'll eventually get a 10." Yeah, but like if you need to send it in 1,000 times, that's still not worth it. If it actually has a solid chance of a 10, you should probably have the 10 after trying 3 or 4 times. If it didn't happen after that, there's probably something really wrong. If you're going to do the Kraken resub game, you better know what you're doing, because you can also just get fucked. Any plan to submit more PSA cards under the Express level? There's actually one card that I'm still going to submit at this current level. It's a BGS card that I'm cracking out. I'm going to make a video about it. Going to be cool. But beyond that, I don't know. It's very hard to find a card that is so clean and so expensive in PSA 10 that it's worth to ship in these tiers. How rare are GLAS secret rares? Very. There were way too many secret rares in that set. So I did get rid of my Necro Faces. I traded them with Strictly Sealed. I kind of miss having one, but the card that the stuff that I got instead was too cool to pass up. Did you enter the competition for the blue rarity named Blue-Eyes Alternative White Dragon on Twitter and Instagram? I couldn't. It's only for Latin America and North America. I'm fucking mad. So I would really like one, but because of you, I now have a friend in Gezi. Start collecting EN. Oh, that's really cool. Have you had success trying to cross a BGS 9.5 to a PSA 10? I have not tried, so I don't know. But I have friends who've done it. And the most important thing is probably that it's actually a very clean 9.5, because a lot of BGS 9.5s are actually just PSA 9s. Like, people can say, oh, BGS is so much more strict because of the subgrades. There's plenty fucking leeway in those subgrades. There's plenty of cards with 9.5 subs on edges or corners that still have whitening that will just get straight PSA 9 into oblivion. And then someone will say, oh, but I saw a PSA 10 that had whitening. Sure. Yeah, you saw 3, 4, 5 of those. But in general, you can't base a strategy on those outliers. So yeah, if it's a really, really clean 9.5, you could. But most 9.5s, you probably can't. Baskirk or Nitros? Nitros all the way. Why does everyone crack to resub? Review seems safer to me. No. Because why the hell would they try if you send in for review? Like, they're not going to say, oh, yeah, we were wrong. We were so wrong, Lamau. Like, it's not that simple. By default, from what I know, cracking has better odds of crossing than resubbing. Even though, yes, there's risk, but you got to take it. What are your thoughts on semi-short-term 2 to 5 year sealed product investing? Who knows? You could have 2 years of absolute nothing. Absolute dog shit. If you remember the Pokemon Go boom and bust, or you remember the post-alpha investments, alpha cards boom, and then like sideways boringness, you can't say shit in that time horizon. So we'll see. Is the lower pop on SDK versus DDS enough to outpace the demand for DDS? I think so, personally. I would bet right now on SDK first ed before I would bet on DDS because of the sheer amount of cards that are getting like the sheer amount of DDSs that are easy 10s because of how clean they are. Like, I don't think people realize a pop difference of 100% is a lot. There's 76 SDKs and there's 144 DDSs. That is insane. Like, be careful. So yeah, to me that's enough, but who knows? We'll see. Does back centering matter a lot to get a PSA 10? I think they're more lenient on back from what I'm told, but I haven't seen like that many awful back centered cards. So DMG MFC first ed or LOB unlim sealed box. That's an interesting one because that one actually changed recently. They announced this sweepstakes type of thing, like this competition, and they're going to give 6 LOB unlim boxes away. Now, does that mean that they're going to print new unlim boxes? Or is that boxes that they bought from the secondary market? Or is that boxes that they still had? I don't know. But at least that adds even more risk to unlim LOB. Did you shop the YuGiOh Hypeland clothing drop? I didn't. I was excited for the hype, but it's from America. I would rather not buy $100 shirt and then still pay $40 in fucking import. So I didn't. If they ever do some kind of like Brussels clothing drop, I'll be there. What do you think of LOB in the first few sets, non-first edition? If you've watched my channel, you probably know what I think of that. Um, we'll see. Is the maximum gold rare worth to collect price-wise? This is getting into really like tell me what to buy territory, but in general, maximum gold rares aren't rare. If you want to collect those because you like how they look, enjoy. Did you get a platinum Blue-Eyes copy? No. I wish I entered it to instantly flip to the people buying them at 5K. Oh, I would have flipped them so nicely. But like keeping long term, nope. Rudy knows about sealed investing. Yeah, he does. Good for him. DDS to the floor. Okay. I don't think it'll go to the floor, but it's just riskier. PSA 3 DDS Blue-Eyes for 1K. I'm not into damaged cards. I went to the drop in LA. It took 7 hours. Holy shit. Well, I hope you had fun, but that's a long ass time. PSA 8 DDS crashed to less than 2K, so 1K for PSA 3 is a scam. I mean, I just wouldn't buy damaged cards regardless. Except for if the damaged card is so damn rare that the damage doesn't even matter. Any legit understanding why Japan never did first? No idea. Will Burst of Destiny be the next Rise of the Duelist? I don't think so. Rise of the Duelist had a Dogmatica engine, which is hyper splashable. And it wasn't just one card, because you could say, oh, Destroyer, Phoenix, Enforcer is splashable. Yeah, but that's one card. Rise of the Duelist, so it had the Dogmatica engine, which means you needed to have the Ecclesia, you needed to have the Fleur-de-Lis, you needed a Nadir Servant, all from that one box. It had Forbidden Droplets, it had Triple Tactics Talents, it had some lower stuff like Ice Dragon Prison and Shaddoll Schism. Holy fuck. And then you look at Burst of Destiny, what do they have? Destroyer Phoenix, Sword Soul if it doesn't end up sucking, Fluanderies if it gets some really nutty support that it doesn't have right now. That's it. It's a cool set. Like, it's a hype set, probably best set of the year. But it's not a rise of the whatever the hell, in my opinion at least. But I am hyped for it. Like, Destroyer is a really, really cool thing. BPT 03 PSA 10 sold for 4K on the last PWCC auction. Does this surprise you in the current market? I didn't see, but it doesn't surprise me because it's very low pop. They're incredibly hard to grade. So good for them. Yeah, good for the card. I also have 3 of that at PSA right now, so let's pray. Most sealed sets go up immediately if they are good and don't grow that much, like Zexal era. That or the sets suck and don't go up hardly at all, even immediately. Yeah, at least that's what we see with Toon Chaos right now. I think keeping Platinum Blue-Eyes long term will be worth if you got in at retail. Yeah, I mean, then it has already worked out, right? But the question is if the opportunity cost of holding beyond that flip is worth it. So let's say you bought at 1K and then immediately flipped at 5K, which is what you could flip for around release. That's a 5x you made there. Then it dropped. Now people are struggling to sell between 3 and 4. I see these fuckers listed every day on Facebook groups, want to sell, want to sell, want to sell. And the amount of comments asking interested is decreasing. So are you now going to hold it long term? Hopefully it recovers, but maybe it doesn't. It recovers to that 5K and then beyond, whereas you could have bought, flipped at the 5K, which was already like way too much in my opinion, and then instantly put that money to work in something that's real, like a real asset with like fundamentals under it. That sounds like a way, way better deal in my opinion. That was my initial like idea. I wanted 3. 1 to instantly flip, 1 for myself because it's pretty cool, and 1 to hold slightly longer. But I think once I saw how ugly they were in real life, and again, this is no diss. If you like them, awesome, great for you. But I found them very ugly in real life compared to like the picture. I would have not even kept the one that I wanted. If you then put that money to work in something that's real, I don't know. That's way more worth it than now praying that it recovers to that price first and then goes beyond. And all of this time, you've just had dead money. I don't know. That's a risk that I'm not willing to take on something that I'm not too excited about. It's a risk that I'm willing to take on stuff that I am excited about. Do you think a BGS 9.5 card with 60-40 centering these days might have a chance to get a 10 in PSA crossing it over? 60-40 is just on the line of what PSA accepts. And very often 60-40 doesn't even make it, so I doubt it. Best question, Ghost from the Trash to or Ghost from the Past to? It depends on the other stuff that's in it. Like, you can't judge Ghost from the Past on its ghosts. And I know that sounds weird, except for if it's Dark Magician Girl. If it's Dark Magician Girl or the SDK Blue-Eyes art, we are in business. Otherwise, it depends on the other cards. If it, like, I don't know, reprints, I don't think it would reprint Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer that quickly. But if it reprints maybe Pot of Prosperity, that would change shit. But if it's just like more weird stuff no one wants, then it'll be Ghost from the Trash too. Hey Solemn, how you doing? I'm good. My voice is dying, so I'm gonna end things relatively quickly. So if you still have any questions here, pop them right now, because after these next few questions, I'm probably gonna head off. I notice whenever I let these go for 2 hours, like, my voice is just done. And I might have to record some ads tomorrow. It's gonna be the Agent Structure deck. Is that true? If that's all, holy hell. Stardust and Black Rose Dragon as Ghost Rare reprint would be dope. Alternate art. Yeah, if it's different art, sure. If it's the same art, fuck them. Fave Structure / Starter deck. I mean, Pegasus and Kaiba are my favorite starter decks because those are like the things I grew up on. Like, my first starter deck was a Pegasus one, I think. Yeah, I mean, seeing that Kaiba starter deck, the Unlim, of course, in the shops back then, holy hell. That's some sweet stuff. So those for sure. Structure deck. Modern wise, probably the zombie one. Old wise, probably the water one. Crossout Designator worth it? I think so. I think Yu-Gi-Oh has like this group of pro players giving bad players bad opinions on purpose to weed out competition. I don't know. I have this hunch that there's like a few pros just giving like, oh, this card sucks very early on, just to make sure that people in Zodiac and so forth start re-saying that, thinking they're smart for saying it, just to ensure that they don't run into it at YCSs. I know that's a really weird conspiracy theory, but I think it's the case. So whenever I see like a loud new opinion, like people were saying, oh, Destroyer sucks, Dragoon is so much better. When I saw that going around, I was like, there's no way all these people randomly thought that up. I'm pretty sure someone's like feeding them these opinions to get the ball rolling. And I think a similar thing happened to Crossout. I think Crossout is a much bigger deal than people are aware of now, because there's some conspiracy manipulation going on. I don't know. New to Vanguard and Exploring Premium, is there a reason to buy the Zero of Dragons, or should I just stick to Over Triggers? So the Over Trigger Zerov choice is only the case in United Sanctuary. All the other ones, you can just play both. What's your favorite card that you don't own? PSA 10 Cyber End, PSA 10 Blue-Eyes Dune, PSA 10 Jinzo? Yeah, probably those. In terms of like not owning the card whatsoever, none. I like in lower grades, I probably own every card I ever wanted to own. Oh, how do people come across these LOB first set boxes? Do they track down old Konami storage units? No. Usually they've like been sitting on them, or they used to own a store or something like that. There's no secret special tracking down bullshit. Is it possible to grade sealed boxes? Not in Yu-Gi-Oh! I have seen something like grading the sealed box because there's a signature that you want to grade. I've seen that, but I haven't seen a box actually being graded. My first ever card was a first edition Time Wizard from Metal Raiders back when I was 4. Nice. Wouldn't be a conspiracy if you had my coconuts? Huh? I don't know what that means, but yeah, that's my conspiracy theory at least. I don't know if it's true. Okay, I think I'm going to end the stream right here. Thank you so much, everyone, for hanging out. If I have some random downtime again, I'll probably redo this. So yeah, I'll see you soon. Ciao.